Season 28, War 1. We are up against Superhero Burr. And let's jump right into it. It is good to have War back, I will say that. Alright, so we've already had a couple people do some fights here. I'm going to pause it. Here are my two fights. We got Professor X, Guardian, Human Torch here, obviously. Magneto here. Very easy fights, but yeah. Okay, and then up here, I'm going to be taking Mr. Maw with my Human Torch. And then on Mini Island, there's a look at Mini Island. I'll be taking the Kang Groot. You guys can see that there is true focus on the Mini Island nodes for the entire season. Pretty much rules out Quake. I think definitely rules out Quake entirely. Ghost, so true focus, it allows the defenders to ignore, evade, and miss. So Ghost can still work. She just can't phase hits. So she can still phase, she just can't phase hits. She'll get whacked. But yeah, alright, so here we go. Fight number 1 of the season. And again, I'm just so excited to be back into War. The changes that Kabam made for this War season, I think overall are a positive step in the right direction. There's plenty that I could say. We had Parry and Dex issues again, which, I don't know if that's going to get fixed or not. But, I don't know. We'll talk about that at the end of the video, maybe, if I'm in the mood. Alright, here we're going to use some moderate boosts. I definitely over-boosted for these 3 fights. I'm pretty sure that a couple of those boosts, I had some in overflow that were going to expire fairly soon. So it's not a big deal. And then here, I'm thinking, alright, this is an easy fight. We've got Schadenfreude, Hazard Shift, totally easy. But what if I mess it up? It's the first one back. I've been having some input lag as well. And I could totally envision a scenario where I get killed in the first fight back and all that stuff. So I'm like, I just want to avoid that. So I throw in the pre-fight. Here you guys can see the Incinerate timer. It's 9 seconds from the start of the fight. And then after that timer ends, it switches to Poison. Now, because this node has Schadenfreude, which is going to give Professor X a 240% attack boosting Fury buff, anytime I have a debuff on me, and I would get inflicted with a poison debuff by hitting him there. Even though the debuff itself wouldn't do a whole lot of damage, I'm like, look, I don't want to take a ton of block damage because I got this Maw fight afterwards. So just play keep away for 9 seconds. It's not that long. So, alright, here we are moving up to Guardian, and I'm actually going to show you my masters. Now this is kind of a trick. I don't know if it's a trick or not, but hey man. Alright, so currently, or at the time of this fight, I was running 3 out of 3 Pacify. You guys can see there, as long as the defender is stunned, their ability accuracy is reduced by 30%, and that's just a flat rate at 3 out of 3 Pacify. Magneto against metal defenders reduces their ability accuracy by 70%, so if you combine those two, as long as they're stunned, they have 0% ability accuracy, which means on a node like this, Hazard Shift, there is a 0% chance that I will be inflicted with an Incinerate or Poison debuff as long as I am just hitting Guardian when he's stunned with Magneto. So all I'm going to do is parry heavy literally the entire fight, and yeah, it works. It just works. It works out really well. You can do this pretty much with any metal defender on this path. I'm trying to think, is there one that could possibly... Oh, like Mysterio is immune to ability accuracy reduction, so you wouldn't be able to do it with him, but, I mean, he can just be ghosted on this path. So anyway, all right. Here we go. We do have Resistor. Doesn't matter because he's not going to be getting any of those resistance buffs as long as I hit him while he's stunned. So I'm just going to back off, wait for my magnetized passive to be inflicted. Now, anytime Guardian has his ability accuracy reduced, then for that entire duration, you have an indefinite shock debuff, which is awesome for Magneto. He's 90% shock resistant. All you gotta do is have willpower and free healing for the rest of the fight. Pretty sweet. So you guys can see, I'm parrying, I'm heavying, and I'm not being inflicted with any debuffs other than the shock, which is sweet. And I'll let you guys watch the rest of this fight, but I mean, really nothing else happens. I tried to end it there with an SP2, and Dad just almost got him. But it should just be a couple more heavies here. We can go 2 more heavies, I think, unless I crit on this one. I can't remember. All right, 1 more. Just blocking the SP1s. No need to play around with it. Not even going to punish, even though that would have ended the fight. Just playing it really safe here because, again, it's the first war, and, you know, I'm not the best player by any stretch. So I need to take every precaution. At least that's my mentality. All right, moving up to Ebony Maw. And this fight has some drama. You know, Human Torch, Mystic. We've got energy attacks from Maw. That's building smolders. We got a heal block debuff. Doesn't matter. Crumbling armor. That doesn't matter because I'll be able to hit him. As long as I keep my temperature above 5, then I can't miss his attack. So I don't even have to use my heavies in this fight to break his focus. But of course, I'm like, yeah, I just want to break his focus. So, all right, little mini combo action. Get the parry and whap. Stand your ground. So if you guys watched my season 26 videos, the last war fight that I took before giving up on this game for a month and a half was a boss fight, and I almost won that fight. I should have won that fight, but I got some just crazy. I got my ground stood, or however you would say that, on the boss. So I don't know, just an awesome way to just a nice aftertaste for war heading into a long break, and then of course I just took a break from MCOC for a while. But yeah, all right. Pete is going to take care of this fella. And I am going to go back into my masteries here. And you guys can see that I've got 5 of 5 Mystic Dispersion. I want to drop that down to 1 of 5 Mystic Dispersion. At least I thought that that was the smartest thing to do for this King Groot mini-boss. I'm using Dr. Voodoo. It's the first time I've used Dr. Voodoo in war in a really long time. Like, literally years. And he's such a good champ. And with True Focus, you know, typically we would send a Quake to take any King Groot on Mini Island other than like Stun Reflect and stuff. But yeah, with her out of the picture, and that node also now has Safeguard. That's another they kind of buffed that node. It used to just be like Regen and Vigorous Assault. Now it's Regen, Vigorous Assault, but it also has Safeguard. So you can't just brute force it with a high DPS champ. You need to get around it. So I think that the 2 best matchups for King Groot there, not that he needs like the optimal matchups, very easy defender, but they're going to be Dr. Voodoo, I think, with his poisons. I guess Diablo 2 would be really effective, and then initially the other best option I was thinking of is Tigra with her ruptures. Her rupture damage, I believe, is going to get around the Safeguard and. You know, I don't play Tigra, I don't have Tigra, but from what I have been told and seen from other players, King Groot is pretty easy to use Tigra against. And I know that, I know that we have the Summoner Showdown King Groot. Tigra is a great option. I know that the highest difficulty with the encroaching stun, it really complicates Tigra fight, but in general. Good matchup here. Okay, so what I'm doing is I just want to wait until he converts his Fury. All right, now he's got the Regen buff, and thus the unblockable passive. There I take a combo, or a little baby combo, just because that's kind of my thing. Alright, he's about to get 6 Fury buffs, and I've only got 3, you guys can see. I've only got 3 hits when I throw that SP1. Ending on an odd combo, if you guys know how Dr. Voodoo works, if you end on an even combo, so if I were to throw that SP1 at 4 hits, then it's going to end on 6 hits, and I would convert all of his Furies into poisons, so I would have had 6 poisons, but instead I throw it with 3. I only convert 4, and then 2 of his Furies purify 2 of my poisons. So thus we get to 4 poisons. So I just played that wrong. Again, not that it matters. Honestly, I'm just so giddy to have War back. And it just gets the juices going, you know what I'm saying? Just gets me all jacked up. So, alright, again, like a genius, end on an odd combo. But here's one thing. I do think that I probably overthought it a bit with the Mystic Dispersion. I was just thinking I wanted to stay at SP1s the entire fight. And, you know, had I thrown, like, when I threw the SP1 when he had 6 Fury buffs, that would have just shot me up to 3 bars of power. Not a big deal, really, because I could just throw that, he'd be power drained, and then I could just kind of reset the cycle with my SP1 and all that stuff. But so anyway, I don't know. Honestly, that doesn't matter either. It's worked out fine. This fight was very easy. I obviously made that mistake, took a couple hits, but was never in danger of losing this fight. And you know, I mean, King Groot. At this point, I think King Groot. Oh, that's kind of a funny thing. Here, let me interrupt myself. All right, so I have increased ability accuracy right now because of my Sig ability. Here I get parried, but I don't get stunned because of this. So that's kind of a neat little thing. Dr. Voodoo is crazy, guys. He is so good. Obviously, kind of a forgotten champ at this point because he's not a 6-star. And there are a lot of really strong Mystic champs at this point, but he is a monster. All right, let's do a little recap here for BG3 and then for Loki. All right, so if you guys are watching this video, then you certainly watch Lagacy's channel. You certainly watch Karate Mike's channel. I would hope that you watch Lizer's channel. Yeah, For Loki and War 1s don't go together very well. Traditionally, we're terrible in War 1. And, you know, 2 deaths for BG3, you know, at our peak, a few seasons ago, that was drastically higher than our average. I think we averaged 1 death per war. And, I mean, we just expect more than to die twice. But we were able to get 4 defensive kills. And then going to switch it over to For Loki. We ended up losing this war. We gave up 9 total deaths. And they only died 8 times. This was definitely a favorable matchup for us. And that's not to be disrespectful to Superhero Burr. But this was just a favorable matchup for us. And, you know, I think throughout this season, you know, 8 deaths is going to be, I think, probably on the higher side for the opponents that we match. So, you know, we just have to get better. And this is kind of where I'll get into the input lag issues. So the parry index caused both of our deaths in BG3. One guy mistimed a dex against a Magneto SP2. Not great. Obviously, I think you guys know how that ended. He could have just blocked it, but again, you know, when you feel comfortable dexing it and the dex timing is just a little bit off because of the game issues, that's frustrating. And then we also had a Quake death, really good Quaker, and just consistently got his ass kicked because the dex timing was just not quite right. And we actually had another really good Quake player that had a few Quake fights and took Man-Thing on node 22 Pretty easy fight, but a long fight because of the Node Man Thing's health. And he took 3 separate combos because of just oddly timed, just slightly off-timed dexes. I don't know, man. It's frustrating. I know that we had one really strong Quaker give up 2 deaths to the same fight with Quake. You know, he just said that he was a little rusty, but I mean he's a really good player, and I just feel like Quake is just off by just such a small amount that it causes people to question whether it's them or the game. And I think that it's the game right now, and I think that I don't know how they're going to fix this or if they even plan to, based on their last forum post about this issue. But I really hope that they figure something out because I don't know. We've been playing this game for how long? 5 years. I'm looking for I'm gonna have 5 years written on my computer. I don't know. It's 5 or 6 years or some shit. 6 years, I think. 2015, December 2015. So almost 6 years, and I don't know. It's like 5 years and 9 months into the game, it's like, oh, this is just the new normal, guys. It's like, I don't think you can do that, actually, with something this fundamental to the game. Dex and parry timing. I don't know. I could go on, but I just don't want to. All right. Season 28, we are doing power ratings in 4 Loki. As always, we're doing cards, but only at the end of the season. And throughout the season, we're doing coins. So I know that I mentioned coins in every video in Season 26, and I never told you guys what the coin system was. And I'm not going to tell you what the coin system is in this video, but I will plan to make a video about the coin system at some point this season because at least previously, there were a lot of people that were curious, and I think it's a cool, fun system. And yeah, I kind of want to showcase that. So... but the person with the highest PR in an individual war gets, the platinum designation, and they get 5 additional coins for that achievement. The person with the second highest PR gets gold. They get 4 additional coins. Silver, they get 3 additional coins. So this is what the end of our wars are going to look like for the top 3 people. And then after every war... just based on various accomplishments throughout the war, everybody is going to accumulate coins. And then at the end of the season, people can cash in their coins for a parallel version of their base card. So everybody's going to get a base card of, their IGN and, I think their Cat Murdoch mashup that they've chosen. Very cool thing that Cat allowed us to do. And then they can also get a parallel version, like a rarer version of their base card by cashing in some of their coins. So it's a cool system. I think it's going to add some enjoyment to war, hopefully. And yeah, anyway, that is it, guys. I hope that you like this video. Leave a like and a comment. Subscribe if you want. A lot of you subscribed to me in the past, and I let you down by taking a hiatus and not posting, and I lost some of you. Some of you fell off, and I don't blame you at all. I would have done the same thing. Well, that's not true, because I haven't done the same thing in that scenario. But I understand. I got to earn back your viewership, and that is totally fine. But if you want to see more of this stuff, then consider subscribing, and that is it. Have a good night. I'll catch you in the next video.